So when I pull out of this area right here, the sound of this car actually bounces off all these fences down here. Listen to it, it sounds super cool. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Caleb. I hope you are all having a great day today. Finally getting warm and nice outside, and you know, hopefully we can have a great summer together. Now, a topic I wanted to talk about today was the cost of this car. Not necessarily just the initial payment, but what it costs to own, operate this car, what it costs to fill it up on gas, what it costs, basically like all the costs related to the ownership of this car, and how much you can expect to pay monthly on this vehicle. So let's get into it. So before this video, I compiled all of my calculations for all the charges and everything that I personally have been through, as well as some other general charges that I'll get into a little bit. So the four categories that I kind of broke this into, and I'll give you some different totals at the end depending on you know, what the situation could possibly be. The first total, car price. Second, gas. Third is insurance, and the fourth is wear on the vehicle. So a C6 Z06 is going to probably run about 30 grand. Right now, this 2006 model is coming around in the market for about 30 grand. I paid for this car $28,900, and with tax, license, title, everything, all like that, I went out the door, drove the car on the street for $31,500. So I think I got a pretty solid deal for the car. And with that, I didn't pay for the purchase in full. I put some money down, and then I financed the rest of it. So assuming that, now I did put some money down, but assuming that I had no financing available, I'm sorry, no money down, and I did all financing on the entire purchase, I'm taking an average of what the average financing of a car costs. So $31,500 to finance the entire transaction at 5.27% interest, which is the average in the United States. This comes out to $598 a month, and that's for 60 months. So that's going to be our first monthly total here. Now, the second item that is an expense for this car is going to be the gasoline cost. Now, the highway on this car is 26 miles to the gallon. City is 16. So I took an average of both of those, giving me 21 miles to the gallon. I assumed that I filled up 3 times a month with that, which I think is pretty average for me. Now, with premium gasoline, the current price in Michigan, $2.35 a gallon. This assumes that each tank is $42.30, giving us a total here of $126.90 a month in gasoline costs. So a little bit of a side note here, I just kind of wanted to throw this out there as sort of like a disclaimer. This is just what I pay, and this is just my own calculations and averages. Like, if you want, you know, I'm not a professional in regards to insurance or financing or anything like that, so take all that into account. I don't want you to, you know, take this as law. Plus, I live in Michigan, and we do have some weird insurance laws. I'll get into that in a second because that's going to be our next category, but I did just want to kind of explain that and throw that out there. Now, our next category is going to be insurance on the vehicle. This car is really not that bad to insure compared to some of my other vehicles. For example, my Ford Focus with PLPD is $1,200 a year to insure, and this is $1,500 a year to insure, which is, you know, not that much of a step up. I have full coverage on this, so it insures myself, the entire car, and, you know, the other person, the whole full coverage on everything here. Every 6 months, it's $750, so that comes out to $1,500 a year. monthly, that equates to $125 a month. That is assuming that this car is not stored and does not have storage insurance on it at any point. Usually I do put storage insurance on in the winter, but I haven't gotten to that point yet with this vehicle. We're just gonna, for sake of this, we're just gonna say that I don't put storage insurance on it. That is a way to recoup some of the costs though. Getting into our fourth category of expenses here, this car really only has two main items that are going to wear parts on this car. That is going to be the tires as well as the clutch on the car. Now, assuming that you're gonna have to replace your clutch about every 50,000 miles, maybe. This one is kind of super up to you depending on how you drive and, you know, depending on really if you get lucky or not. That is gonna be, that job to fix this clutch is $1,700. As well as there's tires on the car. I've been recently looking for new tires, and I hope to put them on as soon as possible, but that's gonna cost about $1,600. So for both of those, because there's such a variable part, I accounted for $10 each a month for both of those. I also threw in $10 a month for just any miscellaneous items. Maybe I scratched it somewhere and I need to fix it or something like that, just to kind of pad it a little bit to give you a better understanding. So for wear on the vehicle, I came out to $30 a month in expenses for wear on this vehicle. So now to recap just a little bit before we get into our totals. For the price of the car, in order to pay for the car itself, that's $598 a month. Now that's a little bit more than what I pay, but I'll explain why I didn't change that number to in a second here. Gas, we came out to $126.90. Insurance, we came out to $125. And for wear on the vehicle, this wear does not include the depreciation cost on the vehicle, but just the wear down of the actual parts. I came out to $30 a month. So overall, total $879.90. So that's not too bad. It is kind of a lot to pay a month for everything, but once the actual purchase price of the car is out of the way, that really drops down a lot. So assuming that the car is completely paid off, just to pay for gas, insurance, and typical wear on the vehicle, that total comes out to $281.90, which is really not that bad. So the reason that I didn't knock down that monthly car price, so I pay $500 a month for this car, so that price is a tiny bit inflated, but the reason I didn't knock that down is because I think that gas price, I think one, I know for a fact that I spend more on gas based on just miles per gallon. I get about 16, 17 miles to the gallon just because of, you know, I drive the car less conservatively than on average here. But also, gas is super cheap right now in the United States and in Michigan. So I don't think that that's an accurate representation of how it's usually been. Gas is extremely cheap right now. Like, I think regular gasoline is like $1.60, which it hasn't been for a while. So I think that number is kind of low. So that's why I left the car price high, hopefully that they would equal out. So that's kind of how I came up with some of these numbers. Insurance is another way that you can knock it down. Michigan, because we are a no-fault state, we have basically, if I hit somebody or somebody hits me, it's nobody's fault. So that's why, that is a portion of the reason why that insurance is kind of high. If you're watching this from another state, you might only be paying, you know, $200-300 a year for insurance, where yes, in Michigan, our insurance prices are crazy. And this also obviously doesn't take into account the prices that, you know, upgrading anything you want in the car or putting a new exhaust. Obviously, that's all after the fact, but this is just general ownership of the vehicle. The overall price of ownership is not too bad on this car, about $880 for with the purchase price, and $280 without the purchase price, just to maintain it and drive it. And I do drive and use this car a lot, so I'm really happy with this. I hope that this helped you out, give you a better idea of the Corvette. And please hit that subscribe button, hit like, comment on the video. I'll hit each and every one of you back. Turn on those notifications so you do not miss a video. I love you all, and I hope you have a great and amazing day. See you next time.